I thank the witnesses for their indulgence. We are now voting on the intelligence bill, which is of utmost importance. I had the last two amendments, so I forgive you for my departure briefly. And I have voted, so I'm going to remain. There's at least one senator on the committee who desires to come back from the vote, since that individual did not have an opportunity to ask questions. Would you all like to take a 3-minute or 4-minute stretch, or?
Sir, I'm used to Baghdad. This is
all right,
this is fine.
General, as a former Marine myself, you just stay where you are.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I think we've had an excellent hearing. There are many ways to judge the quality and content of a hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. I've been
You're
voting.
back.
I've been voting, and I just got back.
Good. Well, I'm in the middle of a speech.
I'll get out of your way there.
A number of colleagues have come up to me on the floor and in the passageway and expressed tremendous satisfaction with your testimony, the fact that you have come and the work you've done. And General, of course, you're a new boy on the block, but you're doing your job too. And my question at this point, and then I'll yield to my good friend here, is the record complete as to the future that you estimate for the ISG? You got 1,700 people. I'm looking at your statement, General. And that's a considerable investment of people and capital. The General points out in his testimony we have a wide range of other mission areas outside Mr. Duelfer's responsibility. So I think it would be helpful if you were to describe the force. The size is still 1,750. You'd contemplate keep that size, and what are the missions, and over what period of time do you hope to achieve those missions?
So out of that 1,750, about 1,000 of them are down in gutter running the DocX. They're the ones that will handle this large influx of material we just received. They will triage it, scan it, and get into the national databases. Out of that 1,000 down there, about 700 of those are linguists, both Cat 1 and Cat 2 linguists that do the scanning, the triage, and things like that. So that is a large undertaking down there. Up in Baghdad, we have about 750 folks. That's broken out between a small DocX effort that focuses more on some tactical intelligence, taking care of things. We have an analytical base that encompasses a WMD section, a counterinsurgency section, and a political military section that handles the HVDs and the Captain Spiker investigations. Mm-hmm. That's supported by a small staff, a security element, a HUMET element that works throughout Iraq. Based on the various missions we have, the numbers may change depending on the size and the questions that we need to follow for Mr. Duelfer's post-report requirements. We're looking at how we can better integrate and work with the multinational force Iraq's collection efforts also, so we can support over the next couple of months the requirements that Mr. Duelfer identifies and also General Casey's requirements in the battle against the counterinsurgency and the counterterrorists, especially in these crucial months leading up to our elections, their elections, and the inauguration, our inauguration.
That's a very clear statement. I thank you. And you've indicated, Mr. Duelfer, that you're going to return. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you haven't specified the duration of this next chapter?
No, but it is a much diminished task and requirement, and you know, the General and I have been discussing the personnel requirements and so forth. But it is a very much smaller activity that will be required to address some of the
work that you deem essential to complete this.
Well, the criteria I put is, you know, I don't want to be spending time and risking people, basically lives, on things which are just historical curiosities. My criteria is something which could materially affect the future. In other words, if we are uncertain about the disposition of some fermenter tanks, there remains the possibility that there is a biology capability. So that's worth to me investigating.
And then, of course, there's the facts that will be revealed from this very large tranche of new material which is down in the document examination. Just one, I've sort of been recycling Senator Kennedy's question to you, Mr. Duelfer, in which he asked you, I guess, something like what percentage, 0 to 100, of finding things, and you said 5%. And I kept thinking that earlier you, in reply to my inquiry and others, you said that the biological requires a very little space in which to house, store, preserve, or otherwise keep a supply, which supply could be extremely detrimental to a great number of people. Am I correct about that?
Absolutely correct.
So was that included in your 5%? Or were you referring to large caches of weapons of mass destruction in terms of chemical primarily? And
the way I understood Senator Kennedy's question was large militarily significant stocks. The risk that there is a concealed biological capability of some sort to produce something, that is the area where I am least confident, frankly. But because we have had access to those people we believe were involved in the previous biology program, that's where we draw some confidence that we think we've run this as well as we could. And that is the most important analytic approach on biology, is the people, because there is a relatively small number, but by the same token, it could be 2 or 3 people that you never even heard of involved in this. So, sensitivity analysis on this whole endeavor would say where you're on the weakest ground is in biology.
I thank you very much.